If you want all the ride information and sensory details about Dumbo at Magic Kingdom, this is the video for you. Hi and welcome back to Moms Make It Magical. If you're new here, my name is Susan, and on this channel I share all the things about doing Disney World and family travel in general with highly sensitive and neurodivergent children. As a parent of a highly sensitive or neurodivergent child, it is key to understand which attractions might be a good fit to avoid overstimulation and better manage meltdowns. And while what's scary is subjective, the details in this video will help you determine whether Dumbo is going to be a scary ride for your family or not. So we'll explore everything you need to know about Dumbo the Flying Elephant and help you decide if it's the right ride for your family. Dumbo the Flying Elephant is found at Disney's Magic Kingdom, and it is in the Fantasyland section of the park, and within Fantasyland it's in the Storybook Circus area. You can also find the Goofy themed kiddie coaster called Barnstormer in this section of the park, and there's also Casey Jr. Splash and Soak Station, which is a fun little play area for kids on hot days, and there's also a character meet and greet in this corner of the park. This section of the park is also where you'll find the Fantasyland station for Walt Disney World Railroad, and just around the corner from there is actually a pathway that will get you close to Tron and through towards Tomorrowland as well. If you're coming to Dumbo from the hub or the central area of the park, you'll see the Mad Tea Party as you walk towards Dumbo. I find that to be a good landmark. And if you're already in the new Fantasyland section, you'll see the Little Mermaid ride as well as the aerial meet and greet as you get closer to Storybook Circus. Dumbo is an aerial carousel style type of ride, similar to those commonly found in theme parks and carnivals all around the world. And as the name indicates, this attraction is based on Disney's 1941 animated movie, Dumbo. The original version of this attraction opened at Disneyland, California in August 16th, 1955, but this version at Magic Kingdom was also an opening day attraction in 1971. A fun fact is that this is the only attraction that can be found at all 6 Disney Castle parks worldwide, so there is a Dumbo at every single one. Magic Kingdom's version is unique compared to all the others because it actually features 2 separate Dumbo spinners, one which spins clockwise and the other spinning counterclockwise. So the queue for Dumbo actually has both a covered outdoor area and an indoor section, but the majority of the line is inside a circus-themed big top tent type of building. And if you are waiting in standby, you'll be given a ticket-themed pager, and you and your family can wait in this play area until it's your turn to go on the ride. So this type of queue environment is super unique, and it's talked a lot about by families with young children, and it really can be a great opportunity for kids to run free for a bit, but it's also very possible that this type of play area, especially if it's really crowded, could be overstimulating for more sensitive children. So some families that I know have reported that they found the play area dark and noisy, and so that's something to be mindful of. It's also important to note that you'll actually skip this entire play area if you are riding Dumbo using Lightning Lane Multipass. So if you think it'll be overwhelming for your kid, you might want to use your Lightning Lane strategically. Or on the flip side, if your child enjoys being in a play area to get out some of their wiggles, maybe you don't use a Lightning Lane here. Dumbo lasts about 2 minutes long, which is on the shorter end when it comes to ride duration. You board these flying Dumbo vehicles where you are secured with a lap belt, and each vehicle can seat about 2 or 3 people, and there's a little joystick in front of you to control how high or low you fly until the end of the ride when all the vehicles go up to the maximum height, which is 17 feet, before all returning back down together. There is no minimum height requirement to ride Dumbo the Flying Elephant. at Disney World, as you can see on their website, making this accessible for all ages. But height requirements aren't the only factor that you should consider when deciding if a ride is right for your child or not. The wait times for Dumbo can obviously vary depending on the time of day and time of year, but generally has short to moderate wait times. As I mentioned, it is an option to use Lightning Lane Multipass to skip the standby line here, and this is a paid system that can help reduce your wait time in the standby line. I don't think it's always necessary, but it can help. I would try riding early in the morning or late in the evening for shorter wait times. And if you're staying in a Disney resort, you can also try using early entry to hop on this with minimal waiting. Early entry is a perk for Disney resort guests to enter the parks 30 minutes earlier. And at Magic Kingdom, select attractions in Fantasyland and Tomorrowland are open during this time, including Dumbo. Now that we've talked a little bit about ride details, let's talk more about the sensory factors about Dumbo to determine if it's too scary or overwhelming for your highly sensitive or neurodivergent child. Let's start by talking about sudden noises on Dumbo. I would say it has a low level of sudden noises. The queue's big top play area does have some unexpected noises with circus sound effects and sounds of kids playing, as well as intermittent announcements. But in terms of the ride mechanism, it's smooth without sudden jolts or loud mechanical sounds. But the most noticeable sound does come from the burst of noise when the ride begins, when you lift off, and at the very end when you're coming back down for its landing. Now let's talk about noise level. I like to differentiate overall noise level from sudden noises, as this is referring more to the overall volume of sound instead of unexpected noises. Dumbo isn't a quiet ride by any means. There's constant noise from the water feature on the ride, as well as background circus music during the entire duration of the ride. There's sounds from the attraction at the beginning and the end when the Dumbo vehicles go up in the air and return to the ground. But it does help that it is entirely outdoors, so the sound is not concentrated in an indoor area, and it's also a shorter duration, which can make the noise level a little more tolerable. In terms of darkness, Dumbo is entirely outdoors and takes place in the open air, so there aren't any dark or enclosed spaces on the actual ride itself, but as I mentioned, do keep in mind that in the standby queue, it does have that indoor big top play area, which can be a little bit darker than the ride itself. Dumbo's water feature includes multicolor LED lights, which does add some visual interest to this attraction, but it is significantly more noticeable at night. However, these light effects shouldn't cause too much discomfort, even for those with sensitive eyes. But if you do find any light effects bothersome that you see right now, it's probably best to avoid Dumbo at nighttime. The speed of any attraction can definitely add to the thrill or sensory overload for some, but luckily this isn't a major concern for Dumbo. Yes, it is a spinning ride, but it does move at a gentle pace. The ride vehicle makes one rotation around the center in 13 seconds. And I found this Disney fan on a forum that calculated that it travels at about 8.6 miles per hour or 13.8 kilometers per hour, which is not that fast at all. Dumbo is a fairly gentle ride, but guests will still experience one quote-unquote drop at the end of the ride when everyone kind of returns back to the ground. It is an extremely slow movement back down though, so it almost feels kind of silly to call it a drop, but it's still a good thing to be mindful of in case your child finds unexpected movements a little bit overwhelming. Overall, this ride's theming is light and fun with a circus-like atmosphere. There aren't any villains or scenes of conflict and no overtly scary scenes here at all. But if your child has a fear of elephants or circuses, which is totally possible, then be mindful of that here. I am pretty familiar with seemingly random fears, so I know there's probably someone out there that is scared of circuses or elephants. If you're spending time in the play area of the queue, it's possible that you'll experience some crowds and closeness to others. But in terms of the actual ride, there is nothing to worry about here. You're only seated with the members of your travel party. Each vehicle seats only 2 to 3 people, and this ride has plenty of personal space from other groups. There are no strong smells that you have to worry about when riding Dumbo, but I do want to note that there is one smell-centric attraction in Storybook Circus that is themed after Dumbo. It is called Smellephants on Parade, sponsored by Scentsy. It's like a search and sniff kind of scavenger hunt where you try to find all 8 Smellephant statues that are spread out through this area, but it's totally easy to avoid if you're only trying to do Dumbo. Despite having a water feature, as you can see right here, Dumbo does not get riders wet at all. The elephant ride vehicles sit above the water as well when you're boarding and exiting this attraction, but you don't have to worry about getting wet. So here's our total sensory rating for Dumbo. And I would say Dumbo is probably not considered a super scary ride for most kids, even highly sensitive ones. It is pretty gentle, slow moving, the theming is bright and cheerful, you don't have to worry about extended time in the dark. I think the biggest potential sensory challenges here are the queue play area, especially if it's crowded. The spinning motion could bother some folks, and also the sudden bursts of noise at the beginning and the end of the ride. I would definitely try to use the lightning lane here to skip the indoor play area if your child is sensitive to noise and crowds. So what are your thoughts on Dumbo? Have you ridden this before? If you haven't been to Disney World yet, is this something that you plan to ride when you are at Magic Kingdom? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you are hoping to find some more community, I invite you to join my Facebook group for parents of highly sensitive and anxious kids planning Disney trips. I will have the link in the description. And I would love to connect with you on social as well. I am on Instagram and Pinterest. And I also have a full blog post describing everything that I've shared here on this video and more tips on navigating Disney World and family travel with sensitive and anxious kids. Let's keep making magical memories with our families.